one of the recommendations in your report, you've made a few recommendations and you've made some findings, but one of the recommendations is that, as there is in England, a parliamentary select committee involving the media and how relationships with senior politicians and everything should be monitored. Can you tell us a little bit? I mean, it could be said that you're trying to suppress media yourself, the freedom of the press. What's going on here?
Well, I've said it many times, we certainly don't want to interfere with freedom of the press, but as you rightly say, in the UK there is I think it's sport culture and media. Now, we haven't got that. It doesn't marry up at the moment with any State's department. This is the Home Affairs and Education, Sport and Culture sub-panel at the moment. But I think media needs to be added to it, because if we've seen, we haven't got the advantage that they have in the UK and most larger jurisdictions, where you've got many different papers with many different political perspectives. You've got several TV channels. We're far more limited than Jersey. So I think when those problems arise and it becomes apparent that certain ideas, certain viewpoints are being put out almost as a party line, then I think you have to be able to have some sort of interaction so that can be challenged. You're not going to be telling media what to say, but journalists have said to me in the past, it was better before when we actually had to go out and dig. Now we get stuff from the communications unit, and it's spin. It's the angle that the ministries want to put out, not just in this case, but in all cases. And too often it's not challenged. That's put out as news and as fact. Yeah. And as we're seeing with this, those facts are often not facts. And
BBC Radio Jersey don't let you on there to dispute these facts. That's one of the big problems. Here's where I'm at a bit of I don't understand the difference between a reporter and a journalist. All we get, like you've already said, is a press release. They just repeat. This is all our media do. They don't dig into anything. So what's the difference between a journalist and a reporter? Because as far as I see it, all the JP, the BBC, Channel Television, all they ever do is report something that somebody said. Channel Television won an award for it. Let's be frank about it, for cutting and pasting stuff. So what's the difference between a reporter and a journalist? Have we got reporters over here? Have we got what have we got?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, to me, a reporter is someone who's just going to report back whatever's fed to them. Where to me, a journalist would be someone who they're going to go out and they'll see that press release perhaps, but they're going to go out and they're going to question it. They're going to dig. They're going to ask questions, and that's surely what we want. You want people. I believe there are some potentially good journalists in Jersey, just like everywhere else. My concern in the past has been maybe the control is coming from the top. And so it's limited as to what they can go out and do. And that's not a good, healthy thing in a democracy either.
Having only one newspaper isn't a good help. We see how they swing opinion. So could you, because I can't think of one, could you give me one example of where any of Jersey's, we call them state media, and I think with good reason. So you have to forgive me. I know you might not share my thing, but they are state media. Can you give me one good example of good investigative journalism from any of Jersey's state media? One story where there was good investigative journalism.
I probably couldn't, no.
What does that say about our supposed democracy?
Well, it's a sorry indictment of where we are, isn't it? If things are just accepted, or perhaps, as I say, it's quite possible there are journalists going out and saying, look, I want to report this, and the people above them are saying, well, no. I don't know that that's fact, but I mean, people take pride in their job. I take pride in my job. I know there's journalists who are going to want to take pride in their job, and it must be very frustrating. Maybe that's why we've seen one or two come and go. I don't know.
But it is a fright. Only one newspaper. Surely there's got to be the Jersey, the JCRA, the Competition Regulatory Authority. Surely there's got to be something there. Somebody's got to say, look, we need an alternative view, because all we get from our newspaper is the party line. As far as that's my opinion.
Well, to be fair, Jersey's a small place. Whether we could support another paper, I'm sure that everything possible would be done to make sure that there isn't another one. But really, that only puts more onus on the media that exists to be absolutely at the top of their game. You know, if they're very critical of people who question and challenge sometimes, well, they've got to be willing to be challenged themselves. I mean, I'll give you a good example, you know, the frustration. Sometimes I've brought propositions, I've brought quite a few propositions to the States. When you look at the report of that debate in the paper, now I know you can't go through the whole debate and print the whole debate or put that all on television, radio, but sometimes there's just a paragraph that sums up what you've said and argued, and it's not even accurate. And you think, that's dumbing down politics. And I think that also contributes to why people are apathetic about politics, because that's all they see, you know, that might be a big story and we'll get some complete trivial nonsense which will be a lead story. We don't want to get Jersey to become where, you know, you've got what's on a soap opera as a lead story, you know, and I think that's the way we're going now. It was a great shame when we lost the phone in as it used to be.
Well, we lost dissenting voices. The BBC, in my opinion, have stifled dissenting voice. This is what people are just sick and tired of. Now, isn't it the media's job, obligation, to question and scrutinise government, not just go around repeating what they say?
Well, I would totally agree with you, but I think this is one of the things that's absolutely grown up under ministerial government, because you've got a group of people who think that they are the government, when actually was 53, there's now 51 elected members. And it'd be nice to see the opinions from all, and you would hear. You say dissenting voices, sometimes it's just an alternative opinion. And if you can't listen to alternative opinions, then that's got to be a bad thing for democracy, you know. I always say when I go into the States, it doesn't matter who the person is, I'll listen to the argument and I'll vote accordingly. But if you can't even be giving people access to what the alternative is, you know, that's just going to stifle democracy. Where will we end up? It really does concern me, to be honest.